Welcome to the 4 Pillars of Men's Health, a podcast of resources for restoring vigor and vitality, bringing you top influencers in the men's health arena, case studies of men who have succeeded and how they did it, and cutting-edge teaching on men's health issues from America's leading men's health guru, Dave Skattum. Get ready to take steps towards good health. Here's your host, Dave Skattum.
Hey, welcome to the 4 Pillars of Men's Health. I'm so glad that you joined us today. I have a really exciting interview with a guy that I've known for quite a few years, and I think you're going to find it really challenging, interesting, and encouraging. But I'm so excited about this whole thing that I've been doing about just interviewing guys that I know who have gone places in their life, done things, and reached some kind of level of success with their health, and that's sure true of the guy that I have on the phone with me today. His name is John Raniola from New York City. John, New York State, thanks for being with us today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dave. It's a real honor to have this opportunity to be on your show.
Cool. Hey, so just a little bit about John is I met John through the Napoleon Hill Foundation. John is a certified Napoleon Hill instructor. He's also an author of a fascinating book called Self-Healing and Become Success, which I'm sure we'll get a little bit into as we go along here. If you go to his Facebook page, there's a really intriguing, little tagline in his bio there that says he's a meaningful purpose guide. So you can see we're in for quite a ride today, and I'm really glad that John's here today. And one thing about John that I know, I've talked to him a little bit about his things with health, and he mentioned to me earlier that one of his greatest accomplishments is being able to get out of this downward spiral that he was in his life, and pull out of that and become successful is probably the best word for it. But we'll talk about that in our podcast here today. But so I'm really excited to hear what John's thoughts are on health and men's health in particular. So, John, I always like to start off with just getting to know you a little bit more. What is getting John Raniola out of bed in the morning? What's turning your crank these days, John?
Well, this was one thing that I've learned speaking at Think and Grow Rich, Sweden. It was something that came to me. And you have to learn to understand that where you are today, your job, your business, or something is getting you to your next level. I found that a lot of people always looked at their way of, I have a job, I don't know what to do, I want to quit my job, I want to do this and this, and then they get all negative and they get bent out of shape because they're working for someone. I even watch coaches all throughout over and over again go, you're making your boss rich, you're making this rich, and this is really building anxiety in someone. And we all know anxiety doesn't really help people, it makes them sick. So I don't use those sales tactics. If you want, if someone wants to learn, I'll be more than happy to help them. I write this all out in the books. I don't hide any of my information. So how to remove this anxiety is to say to yourself, and it's very powerful just shifting your words, but just say to yourself, my job is a vessel. My job is teaching me and guiding me to build courage so I can get to my business. I can get to this. I can build money to invest in my business and things like that. See, what's actually happening is you're shifting your mind. Instead of saying that I have a job or getting bent out of shape and listen to everyone telling you, a job is making a boss rich, a job this, a job that. You're working your life away for someone else. No, it's a vessel. Your boss is helping you, guide you to your next step, negative or positive. As long as you can see this, you can get yourself to the next step. The real issue is people cannot see themselves at the next step. So they tend to dwell in the old step, the step that they know, their comfort zone, their comfort blanket. So what gets me out of my day is everything I'm doing is a vessel to get me to the next level. I know the secret to success is growing. is growing myself, is self-healing myself, is self-healing my past patterns that created my reality in the past to creating my reality now. I'm rewriting my past. So everything I do is to better myself. And what I have going on is I have a new book coming out that's going to blow the minds out of everything. It's going to blow the secret out of the water, the law of attraction out of the water, anything like that. I call it in my book these all limited beliefs. And my main goal now, my meaningful purpose, is to take down limited beliefs on a global scale. So this is the beginning of me attacking on that, and this is the beginning of my next book. And I'm also working on some classes, some online classes and things like that, on top of building my HVAC business in Long Island, my vessel that's going to guide me, that's going to help me build everything I ever want to build in my life.
That's cool. Hey, I want to go a little bit deeper with something you just mentioned that's really intriguing to me, that really resonates with what I'm doing. Is you mentioned that finding your purpose is one of the, I can't remember exactly how you phrased it, but it sounded like maybe one of the major challenges of life. And reflect on that. How is it that first of all, how many people know their purpose in your experience? And then how is it that people can find it? And how do you find your purpose?
All right, here's the thing. This is what most people fail at with self-development books. They tend to read the books, listen to the books, and skip over the exercises. The Napoleon Hill is one of the biggest exercises, the first exercise in the book, and a lot of people talk about what is your purpose? Write out your purpose. But people skip it because they don't have a purpose. They don't know what their purpose is. Right. So how do you find a meaningful purpose? First, you have to understand that everyone has a purpose. It might not be positive. It could be negative. It's just the idea of how do you turn anything into a meaningful purpose. Now, like I said, the secret to success is growth. Napoleon Hill wrote, Think and Grow Rich. It's grow. You have to grow your thinking, your emotions. You have to self-heal your past patterns, your past generational patterns. That's why I'm big with rewriting your past patterns, seeing what is creating your reality as of today, because your past has created that in some form. The words you speak, that's why limited beliefs are so powerful and so destructive. I believe if you start chiseling away your limited beliefs and you grow and you self-heal, you don't even have to self-heal. As long as you grow, you're going to self-heal. You're going to figure it out. But how to find a meaningful purpose is, chances are you're going to have to hit the lonely road to success. You're going to have to walk away from almost everyone that you know, depending on what you want to do with your life. This is going to be a purpose, because your meaningful purpose is yourself. You are the secret to success. You are the law of attraction. So anytime you work on you, you advance your attraction. You advance what you bring back into your life. I like to call it the law of accepting, because you're not attracted. It's what you accept in reality comes to you. And that's why I think law of attraction is misguiding too many people in the wrong direction, because they're all out wasting and draining their energy trying to attract something they are not supposed to become, because their meaningful purpose is attracting something, attracting this, attracting an old relationship that didn't work, old body habits that don't work, old eating habits that don't work, old mental thought patterns that don't work. And it could go on and on. I mean, I'm very deep into this self-development. I've been putting my life into this. And everything has to be worked on, I mean, including your health and your body. I mean, as of now, my health is the most important thing, because I need my energy. If I want to succeed, if I want to build everything I want to build in my life, I need that energy. Yeah.
Wow. So, man, I think just finding, when somebody finds their purpose, it just radically alters everything about them. And then if they can step into that and with enough faith and belief, it's just totally changes a person. So I'm right there with you, John. I really appreciate the work that you're doing. So I'm kind of like an amateur historian, and I love reading history books, learning about history, and when I think of men's health, my mind kind of wanders back to the Greek and Roman era, and I have this image of this great sculpture taking this big hunk of granite or marble or whatever it was and chiseling out his idea of what a perfect man is. And so if John really could put his picture of an ideal man up on one of those Greek or Roman pillars and say, to be a healthy man, this is what it looks like. How would you describe that guy?
Now, this is hard to say because there's one thing that I do not, or I try not to work on, is try to give a definition out there for someone to work at. I believe your definition is, and it says do not copy, do not create the same thing, do not do things. I believe you're healthy, or a healthy man should be one that is driven, not by money, but driven and balanced, having a balanced life. Because remember, if you put a sculpture up there and you got this guy with giant arms and he's addicted to the gym, addicted to working out, he's doing steroids, he's doing, eating pounds and pounds of meat, it's not a balanced life. So the whole thing is to make sure you're working out so your body is absorbing what it needs to absorb. You're eating what you need to feed your mind and body, because your mind and body works together. I have found, being a diabetic, that if I'm out eating, I don't know what they do. I think restaurants put sugar in salads and everything else, because I can't eat anything out because my sugar spikes through the roof. And it's just something where it's like, wow. And I was forced to discipline myself this far, and I'm still hard working on myself. And for the people that, have their health now and things like that, it's very important to keep that balanced and work on that. So my idea is a healthy person is someone that has the energy to live the life they want without taking supplements I don't want to say nothing about supplements or anything else. I don't want to talk about any medicine, but not needing the caffeine or things like that to keep yourself motivated and things like that. So we were talking about it before. What I believe the meaningful purpose is an inner drive that builds, that will drive you. But this is one inner drive that is there. It's hidden. It's deep down within inside. And the only way to do it is to face yourself, face your journey, and face who you are, and work on yourself. And then once this drive kicks in, you want to live, you want to be healthy, and things like that. So I believe my sculpture to a real healthy body is, I guess as my father used to say, lean, mean, fighting machine.
That's great. All right, so let's get a little more personal with you, John. If you look back over your life now, you have pretty severe diabetes, right? Am I characterizing that right?
Yes. If you want to go back, my mother passed away at 31 years old with diabetes. I was, and I always say, people are like, oh man, you have diabetes. I'm like, I'm blessed. I got diabetes in my 40s. And somehow, it's just hard. It's very hard to keep it in control. So, but I consider it a blessing because I got it in my 40s, but it wasn't from, what happened was all my life I was pretty much healthy. I was always working out, rode my bike, rode my big wheel. I did martial arts, pretty much in my 20s, almost in my 30s. And then I found a lot of things started happening, and I started to spiral in a downward spiral, and I didn't recognize it. This thing just took over, it took control, and little by little, I lost my six-pack. I started eating, McDonald's, fast food. My stomach started growing. Before I knew it, I don't even know where I was. I was sitting on the LAE 2 to 6 hours a day, sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic, including labor work. And eating everything. The only thing I look forward to is getting in there, eating my breakfast. What was I going to have for lunch? What was I going to go home for dinner? And then I started to drink. So I was drinking almost every night. So it's just a matter of time. If you don't take control of your life, it takes a spiral and it starts just to spin out of control, and it goes into autopilot. It'll run without you even knowing it.
Yeah. So what is it? What is it that, I mean, it sounds like you maybe reached a crisis point in your life where, describe that. Maybe it was a moment or a series of things, but what is it that the light kind of came on in John's head and he said, I'm not going to go this way anymore? What was it that, because a lot of us know we shouldn't be eating all that junk stuff, and we know that we should be getting, going out walking and exercising, things like that, but we don't. What is it that put you on that track? And you mentioned the spiral. What was it that reversed that spiral for you?
I really believe that my mind went into survival mode. I really believe that my mind said, you're going to die if you don't get out of this. Yeah. And like I said, there is a hidden inner drive inside of you. And once you tap into this, there is no stopping you. But I didn't find it until years later. But it was something that was starting to burn, something that was starting to rotate inside my body or wherever it is. It was an energy that was telling me that, you know what, you have to do something and you have to get out of this. And there was something that always drove me when I was younger. It's, my mother risked her life putting me on earth. She wasn't supposed to have me. And I said, if she was to risk her life to put me on earth, I am here for a reason more than what I'm doing, more than this spiral out of control, more than losing control of my life and everything about my life. So I really believe my mind triggered into survival mode, and for some reason I started to look up on the flip phone. It just started getting internet, and I started to look up motivational videos or any books I could find, things like that. Yeah. And I would listen to it in traffic. So what happened was I found my biggest negative and turned it into my greatest asset, where all that hours traffic, and with all those hours sitting in traffic, I was able to shift that into a positive by listening to motivational videos. Then I went to audio books. Then I went to getting the Kindle so the Kindle could read to me. And I just kept on spending hours and hours of reading books. And, like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. Outwitting the Devil is one of the most amazing books to understand what's holding you down, what's controlling people, habits, lifestyles, and things like that. And I highly recommend that book on top of my book, Self-Heal and Become Success. I had to plug it. But it took a long time. And right then my purpose was to get rich, get a Lamborghini, live a poisonous lifestyle, because that's what I was doing at that time. I was drinking. I wanted to party. I wanted stripper-type women. I wanted to go to nightclubs, pick with my Lamborghini, pick up the women, things like that. That was my definition of success. What a foolish definition of success. But it did start that drive in me. It gave me something to look after. But after a while, I just started growing. Money wasn't the most important thing for me. It was, really bettering myself and becoming the person I am today. Yeah,
that's cool. So when you, in your environment there in the New York City area, as you look around you and you see other guys, and this, I do this podcast for men, so you can reflect however you want to on mankind, women and men. But what as you look around, what do you think is some of the biggest issues that we have in our society that stops us from being healthy? What is it that all this heart disease and diabetes and cancer and all these things that are crashing in on us? What is it that we're doing as a society or people that is perpetuating that?
Well, first off, to change anything in your life, to change your health, to change anything in your life, you have to change your lifestyle. So your lifestyle, what you know, is what you're bringing into your life. It's what you're accepting in your life. That's why I say law of accepting is very powerful. It's a lot more powerful than law of attraction. Because what are you accepting? You're accepting your lifestyle. So you don't know it. It's your patterns of your lifestyle that is creating your eating habits. Now, on top of that, you have the news media or any media or any TV show selling a negative. You can even see life coaches selling a negative. They're selling to the negative because the negative is the masses. And I say all the time, you have to turn off the news media because, number one, it's all negative. And if I'm wrong, you tell me what percentage is positive in there. Everything's an argument. Everything's a fight. And I will tell you, a divided mind amongst itself cannot be successful.
Right.
All right? So I say it all the time. We all heard of vision boards, right? There's a vision board you put up. You put pictures on the wall of things you want, right? So that is something that works for your subconscious mind to start working on getting what you want. Now, don't think that that's self-development and that's the secret in forward or whatever. That's one of the steps of the secret. All right. Now, secret in reverse could be also done as negative. So do not think for a second billions and billions of dollars have not been spent on training your mind to shift to buy negative, like fast food, things like that. Don't think they don't know the music that they put on the commercial, anything, pictures, visions. These are all things that get imprinted into your subconscious mind and eventually creates it. And now you start getting that hunger feeling, wait, I heard that McDonald's thing. I want to get something to eat. I want something healthy. I want something healthy. But you go past this fast food, this fast food, this fast food. You know what? What is one unhealthy meal going to do to me? I want to tell you one story. I was working in a mall, and this was when I was shredded. I was ripped up. I did break ribs in martial arts, so I couldn't work out as hard as I could. And this was one of my steps on my spiral downward. I was working with all these guys. They were all eating, I don't want to mention names, but they were all eating fast food in the morning. And I'm walking all the way to the other side to get a whole wheat, egg white sandwich. Yeah. One day I'm sitting there and I'm watching them eat over and over again. And I said to myself, what can one pancake do for me? It won't hurt me. I will have one pancake and that's it. And I will tell you, within a week or 2 weeks, I was eating the whole pancake special. And boy, that stuff gets addictive. So that was one spiral. So there are things, if you surround yourself with that, eventually your mind's going to give you the excuse to cheat. Yeah. The mind's going to give you an excuse to go and grab that fast food. And it's programmed for you to think that you're getting a deal and eating more, but you are just stretching out. And now you're starting to get this eating habit where now it just starts spiraling out of control. It gets addictive. So it's your lifestyle, it's the people around you, it's everything else. That's why law of attraction is a lot more powerful than people think, because it also removes people out of your life and things out of your life when you are starting to change your lifestyle. And remember, there is no secret to any success or anything else. It is the lifestyle you live that you are going to attract. It's your level of mindset that attracts other level of mindsets. End of story. So if you're searching for anything, search for yourself, search in you, and work on yourself and chisel out your lifestyle. That is the definition of a healthy man is the person that works at his or her lifestyle.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, John, I'm going to second to last question for you. So I have just put a crown on your head and given you a magic wand, and you are now king of the world, and you can do anything you want with this magic wand in relation to helping people get healthy, specifically with guys. What would you do if you had this magic wand to make the world a healthier place?
I think that I would. I would like. You know what? I know what it is. I have a technique called listening to silence, and this is the area where you can relax, shut down your mind, and actually listen to yourself. Listen to your dreams, your passions, and I would like. If I had a magic wand, I would want men and women to be able to shut off the world within their mind and listen and learn how to, not learn how to because it's a magic wand, and be able to shift any thoughts, any patterns into a positive direction. And a lot of people might want to call that magic once you get control of it, but it's not magic. It is you taking control of your life. You taking control of your world. It's you taking control of your thinking, your emotions, your traumas. Anything that really is hurting you or anything else, you need to release it and, really embrace it and see it as a blessing and turn it into an asset somehow.
Man, just in listening to you, I'm just like looking around in my mind at all the people I know and just thinking, what if that really happened with each one of us, where we took, especially today in the United States with the election thing going on and the COVID thing going on, what if every one of us could do that shift and turn all of our situations into a positive direction, just like you said? It would like radically alter our whole society, the whole world. That would be incredible. That is really cool. Hey, John, just to wrap it up, here's the last thing. I'm going to throw you a little curveball here, but I just want you to wrap it up this way. The people who are listening, if you want to get, just listening to John, I know that a lot of people would like to hear more about what you're doing and get in touch with you and all that stuff. If you could just wrap this up with, any closing thoughts that you have on, especially in relation to your, the Meaningful Purpose Guide, and how that could affect other people and how people can get plugged into what you're doing. And I don't know if you want to leave some contact information or email or whatever you want to do, if you want to do that. But just wrap this up with, in regards to men's health, what is it that a Meaningful Purpose Guide would tell this community of people?
All right, I will first give you how to contact me. This way it's over, and you guys would have that. So pull out your pens.
Yep.
I'll
put this in the show notes.
Yep. You can always friend me on Facebook. I am more on Facebook than anything else. My name is John, last name Raniola. Like I said, I spend most of my time on Facebook. I have the other links, but it's not something I'm used to, so I just stay where I'm at. I also have a website called returningtosuccess.com. That's returning, the number 2 sign, success.com. I will have more information on my book. I will be updating more and more on this website. I will be having work classes coming out. I'm working on a class right now called The Spiraling Effect, where we can witness where we are and then how to start shifting it. The one thing I want to let every reader here know, there is no magic. There is no magic potion. There is no secret to success. You are perfect. You are the person that you can be, that you are supposed to be at this time. There's nothing wrong in the past. Everything in your past was a blessing, no matter how bad it is. My mother died at 2.5. All right? She disappeared from my life. That was a trauma that hit me and controlled most of my life, most of my relationships. All right? Maybe someone had it worse. Something else happened. Things like that. But me taking my mother's trauma and reversing it and transforming it into a blessing, an asset, is helping many people. See, that is how I transformed my negative lifestyle into a positive. And little by little, I chiseled away. This is an art form. This is something that's going to take a lot of time. This is something that, yes, you might have to call it brainwashing or whatever it is. I have pictures on the walls. I have notes on the walls to remind my mind where I want to be. I have so much that I could talk about and write about. Even my new book, I talk about it. It's just touching the surface. But I will be working on a workbook that starts from pretty much every little step that I worked on to transform myself. So you are perfect. Wherever you were in the past, let's transform that. Stop when everything is spiraling out of control. Stop when you feel things are not going your way. And ask yourself why. And then just vision in your mind, or say it in your mind, or do both, where you want to be. And tell your mind, demand your mind, that you want to go in that direction.
You've been listening to The 4 Pillars of Men's Health with Dave Skattum. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit the4pillarsofmenshealth.com.